Number 3. You cannot be owned. Freedom is not a preference for you. It is a biological requirement. The moment someone tries to control you, manipulate you, confine you, define you, something in you immediately begins to move away, not out of fear, not out of spite, out of a deep, cellular recognition that your life belongs to you. This makes relationships complicated sometimes. It makes you difficult to manage, impossible to corner. But it also means that when you choose to stay, when you genuinely, freely choose someone or something, it means everything. Your loyalty is real precisely because it was never forced. Number 4. You have always been years ahead of where you actually are. Think about the things you believed 10 years ago, the ideas, the values, the visions you had, that people laughed at or ignored. Now, look around. Some of those things are mainstream. Some are obvious now. You were saying them before the world was ready to hear them. This is not coincidence. Aquarius is the sign of the future. You don't just live in the present. You're already thinking about what comes next, what should come next, what needs to change. The world catches up to Aquarius. It always does. It just takes time. Number 5. You are the most loyal person no one will ever fully know. You are selective. Deeply, intentionally selective. Your inner circle is small because you take it seriously. You don't give access to everyone. You can't. The people who earn your trust, and it must be earned, it cannot be taken, those people have something most people will never experience. An Aquarius who is fully present, fully committed, fully on their side. You would walk through fire for the people you love. The tragedy is that most people never get close enough to find that out. Number 6. You cannot pretend. Pretending exhausts you. Social performance, forced smiles, conversations you don't care about. You can do them when necessary, but they cost you something. You feel the inauthenticity immediately, like a bad frequency in the room, and you cannot maintain the performance for long. This is why shallow environments drain you and deep conversations restore you. This is why you gravitate toward people who say what they mean. This is why you've ended friendships, relationships, entire chapters of your life. Not because you stopped caring, but because you refused to keep pretending. Number 7. You are capable of a level of detachment that looks cold from the outside, but from the inside, it's survival. When someone hurts you, betrays you, or proves that they were never who you thought they were, something shifts in you. Quietly, permanently. You don't explode. You don't beg. You don't perform your pain for an audience. You simply recalibrate. You remove that person from the position they held in your life, and you move forward. People who don't understand you call this cold. What it actually is dignity. You don't chase what doesn't choose you. You don't negotiate your worth with people who don't see it. Number 8. You have a relationship with solitude that most people never develop. You genuinely like being alone. Not because you're antisocial. You can be the most magnetic person in the room when you choose to be. But because solitude is where you recharge, where you think, where you become yourself again after spending time navigating a world that doesn't quite operate on your frequency. Your relationship with solitude is not loneliness. It's self-possession. It's the mark of someone who doesn't need external validation to feel whole. Number 9. You are drawn to the broken, the overlooked, the misunderstood, because you know what it feels like. There's a compassion in you that runs very deep, not performative compassion, not the kind that needs to be seen, the quiet kind, the kind that notices the person in the room who seems fine but isn't, the kind that remembers what people say they need weeks after they said it. You have a radar for pain because you've mapped your own so thoroughly. This makes you one of the rarest kinds of people, someone who sees others, really sees them. Number 10. You are the hardest person in the world to manipulate, and the easiest to respect. You see through people with an efficiency that surprises them. You can't fully explain how you know what you know. You just do. You read intention behind words. You notice what people don't say. You track inconsistency the way others track weather. This makes manipulation nearly impossible with you. People who try it once usually don't try again. But this same perceptiveness means that genuine honesty, real, direct, no-agenda honesty, earns your deepest respect instantly. You were told you were too much, too intense, too distant, too different. And somewhere along the way, you started wondering if something was wrong with you. There isn't. There never was. What you are, what you've always been, is something most people have never encountered before. And that terrifies them. Because you don't follow the script. You don't fit the mold. You never did. And deep down, you always knew it. This video isn't for everyone. It's for you. The one who has spent years being misread, misunderstood, and underestimated. The one who feels everything and shows nothing. The one who walked away from what everyone else wanted and chose something they couldn't even name yet. If you were born under Aquarius, stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you explains everything. Number 1. You were born with a mind that doesn't follow traffic. Most people think the same thoughts, in the same order, about the same things. They absorb the world around them and reflect it back. You don't do that. Your mind takes a completely different route every time. You're not contrarian for the sake of it. You're not difficult. You simply cannot turn off the part of you that asks why. Why does it work this way? Why does everyone accept this? Why is no one questioning what's right in front of them? That relentless questioning isn't a flaw. It's the engine behind every great idea you've ever had. The world doesn't produce many minds like yours, and the ones it does produce, they change things. Number 2, you feel things at a frequency most people can't hear. There's a popular misunderstanding about Aquarius, that you're cold, detached, emotionally unavailable. That couldn't be further from the truth. The real story is this: you feel so much, so deeply, that you had to learn to manage it. You built walls not because you don't care, but because you care too much, and the world didn't always know what to do with that. You learned early that raw emotion, shown openly, made people uncomfortable. So you internalized it. You became fluent in composure. But the ones who truly know you, the very few, they know what lives beneath that calm surface. Number 11. You carry a vision for a better world, and you cannot let it go. This might sound grand, but it's true. Aquarius is the sign most closely linked to human progress, to the belief that things can be better, fairer, more humane. You feel injustice personally, even when it doesn't directly affect you. You have opinions about how things should work that most people never bother to form. And you carry that weight sometimes. The gap between the world as it is and the world as it should be. You feel it constantly. That gap is what drives you. Number 12. You're not afraid of reinvention. Where others cling to old identities, old roles, old versions of themselves, you let go. When something no longer fits, a belief, a relationship, a version of who you were, you shed it. Cleanly. Sometimes painfully, but cleanly. You have reinvented yourself more than once. You will do it again. This isn't instability. This is growth. This is the rare ability to evolve consciously, rather than just drifting through life accumulating versions of yourself you never chose. Number 13. You have standards that most people find intimidating. Not just for relationships, for everything. For conversation, for work, for how people treat each other, for integrity, for effort. You notice when someone isn't trying. You notice when something could have been done better. You are your own harshest critic, and you hold others, not to perfection, but to a basic standard of genuine effort and honesty. This makes you demanding in the best possible sense, and it means that what you build, what you commit to, what you put your name on, it's real. Number 14. Your silence says more than most people's words. You don't fill space with noise. When you go quiet, there is a reason. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop responding with the energy you used to, pay attention to that. It means something has shifted. Aquarius silence is not passive. It is a decision. And the people who've been on the receiving end of it know exactly what I mean. Number 15. You have a humor that catches people off guard. Dry, unexpected, perfectly timed. Your sense of humor doesn't announce itself. It arrives. People who don't know you don't always see it coming. But the people close to you know that you can be one of the funniest people they've ever met. Not because you perform comedy, but because you see the absurdity in things clearly and you call it out precisely. That precision, applied to humor, is devastating in the best way. Number 16. You will choose the harder right over the easier wrong every time. Compromise your integrity for comfort? No. Lie to keep the peace? Rarely. Take the path of least resistance when it leads somewhere you don't respect. Almost never. This costs you sometimes. It costs you relationships, opportunities, easier versions of your life. But you carry yourself with something that people who make the comfortable choice never quite have. You carry clarity, the knowledge that you didn't trade yourself for convenience. Number 17. You experience connection differently than other signs. For you, connection is not about proximity, not about how often you talk, how many shared activities you have, how much time you spend together. It's about depth, about resonance, about the feeling that someone genuinely understands the way you see the world. You can feel more connected to someone you've spoken to twice, if the conversation was real, than to someone you've known for years who never went past the surface. This is why your relationships are few but significant. This is why shallow friendships always eventually end. Number 18. You have survived things that would have broken other people. Not just survived, integrated. You didn't just get through the hard things. You processed them, examined them, and came out knowing more about yourself than you did before. This is not comfortable. It is not a gift that feels like a gift while it's happening. But it means that you have a resilience that was built, not given. A strength that is yours, not borrowed. And it means that when things get hard again, and they will, you know, somewhere deep in yourself, that you will handle it. Because you always have. Number 19. You believe in people, even when you've been given reasons not to. This one is complicated, because it coexists with your perceptiveness and your guard. But underneath all of it, There's a part of you that genuinely wants to believe in people, that gives chances, that hopes for the best, that sometimes keeps believing in someone long after the evidence has stopped supporting it. This is not naivety. It is the same idealism that makes you believe in better worlds, better systems, better futures. It is the part of you that hasn't given up on humanity. Hold on to it. The world needs it. Number 20. You are impossible to replace. The people who have lost you, who walked away, who gave up too soon, who mistook your independence for indifference, they know this. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. There is no one else who will see them the way you saw them. No one else who will be honest the way you were honest. No one else who will love them with that specific, rare, unperformed love that you offer. You are singular. Not because astrology says so, but because the combination of everything I've just described creates someone the world doesn't produce in large numbers. Number 21. You were never supposed to fit in. You were supposed to stand out. From the beginning, everything about you, the way your mind works, the way you feel, the way you love, the way you refuse, the way you rebuild, it was always pointing somewhere, toward something that couldn't be reached by following the path everyone else was on. You were not built for the ordinary life. You were not built to shrink yourself into spaces that were never designed for you. You were built for something bigger than that. And the fact that it's taken longer, been harder, felt lonelier than you expected, that's not the universe punishing you. That's the price of being ahead of your time. The world rarely celebrates Aquarius in the moment, only later, when it understands what you built and what you refused to become. But you never needed the celebration. You only needed to know that who you are, even the parts that made life harder, was never a mistake.